Welcome to Art Bytes, short encounters with a collection of the Marianna Kistler Beach Museum of Art. I'm Associate Curator of Education, Catherine Slogic. Today, I'd like to share a piece that is new to our collection by Cheyenne artist Archie Blackowl, and it's called Moccasin Makers. Blackowl was born in Custer County, Oklahoma in November of 1911. He was descended from Cheyenne chiefs Crow Necklace and Roman Nose, and his 1992 gravestone in the Watunga Indian Cemetery reads Chief. According to art historian Jean Snodgrass King, Blackowl became aware of art at the age of 6 when he saw Old Redtooth painting a skin teepee, probably similar to the one that you see on the slide. In 1918, like most Indian children, he was sent to Indian boarding schools at Seeger, Concho, and finally Fort Sill by the American government. He had this to say about his experience. When I was about 7 years old, they took me to this damn Indian school of the government's. And we had to stand in line, and they cut my hair off. They just cut my braids off and threw them into a box with all the other children's braids. My old grandmother went there and got them, and my grandfolks stayed at the winter camp all winter long to be near me. It was hard being an Indian in them days. Later, I learned to be proud. Blackowl came late to painting, probably recruited by C.D. Montgomery, the director of the Indian Art Center at Fort Sill in 1938. There he was able to study under Swedish-born painter and muralist Ollie Nordmark, who had actually trained in Kansas. Other students there included Woody Crumbo, Andrew Standing Soldier, and Black Bear Boson, all artists with Kansas ties. Blackowl also studied at Haskell Indians Nation University, University of Kansas, and the California Art Institute. Encouraged by Potawatomi artist Woody Crumbo, he was able to attend the University of Oklahoma on a grant from Phillips 66 Foundation. By 1974 or 47, he was well recognized, including a Daily Oklahoman article by Bethany College graduate Oscar Jacobson, who is the curator at the University of Oklahoma Art Museum and mentor to the Kiowa Six, who were stylistically similar to Blackowl. Blackowl had had many occupations, including teacher, juror at the Philbrook Indian Annual, muralist, including a mural at the Palmer House Hotel in Chicago, and teaching fresco painting for Haskell in 1940. Civil service employee, Walt Disney Studio employee, and industrial painter for the aircraft industry. He was married 4 times, and he had 13 natural children and 2 adopted children with his 4th wife. In addition to numerous government-funded mural projects, private collectors encouraged Indian artists to submit their work to competitions. Kansas-born sculptor Bernard Fraser, who is the director of the Philbrook Museum from 1945 to 50, sent letters to his friends and Indian artists to submit work to the Indian Annual, which was an art show that helped develop Native American fine art. Before the 1946 Philbrook Indian Annual, Fraser wrote to Blackowl and asked him to do Blackowl and Philbrook a favor by painting some very big, very good Cheyenne scenes, which can be entered in the competition. As I said, Blackowl was later a jury at the show, and this really helped Native American art scene by building a cultural bridge between Native American people and the art shows. Blackowl's work captures the traditional Southern Plains culture and life. His paintings, generally in tempera or mixed media, depict scenes of dancers and ceremonies and aspects of Cheyenne culture in the flat style of the Dorothy Dunn School or Bacone style school of painting and the Kiowa Six artists from Oklahoma. One choice he often made was to use a Black background. His devotion to traditional flat style earned him the honor of living legend by art critic historian Ralph Oliver in 1990. Moccasin Makers is painted in tempera, a paint chosen for its flat, opaque quality and how it fills solid spaces. In this piece, there is a bright yellow background. One figure sits with an undecorated or displaying an undecorated moccasin. There's a quilled moccasin beside that figure, and the figure across from her is lying down, displaying a pair of moccasins that are complete. A large piece of what seems to be a teepee and then perhaps leather sinews are sitting in front of her. Behind the four figures at the top of the painting, shadows of hunters, bison, and a sun are found. This may reflect the process of hunting or procuring the leather that would have been used to make leather goods. But it also could refer to the Cheyenne legend that porcupine quill work was brought to the tribe by a man who married Buffalo Woman, a woman who hid her true identity. He learned the art of quilling while living with the buffalo and shared it with the women of his tribe. Membership in the Cheyenne Quilling Society was a prestigious honor, and this painting may reflect the member of that quilling society displaying her work ceremonially. To be a master, one would create a series of items, starting with moccasins, proceeding up to cradle boards, and larger items like teepees. The process and ritual of the quilled craft constituted a ceremony of sacred sacrifice and knowledge seeking, perhaps an explanation for the red paint on the women's faces. And you can see here some details of a pair of Cheyenne moccasins from about 1870. And the moccasin on the right-hand side, as you see the top, the quilling is underneath the beadwork. Quilling societies came to an end in the late 19th century, and although quilling has never died out as an art form, this painting and the work of Archie Blackowl serves as an example of how Native artists help preserve and record a past lifestyle. As Blackowl said, leave a mark, put something down so that when young people see it, they will understand. Thank you, and we will hopefully have this piece up soon at the museum.